Hi everyone, my name is Melissa. I want to go over a question that was raised on the Enterprise DNA forum, where a member had a dataset containing IDs, dates and weights and wanted to fill the gap between those measurements. So create a date range and then spread out the difference over all those days. So let's go over the Power Query. So here we have our table. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load a copy of our data into memory. And we're going to use Table.Buffer. Now if you enter an M expression in the formula bar and you omit the parentheses and press enter, you can see the documentation that belongs to that expression. So Table.Buffer, it buffers the table into memory, isolating it from external changes during evaluation. So that's what we're going to do here. So press F(x) in front of the formula bar and add the Table.Buffer. I'm going to rename that step. And add a custom column. And we're not going to reference our buffer table here, but we're going to reference the step before that, so the renamed column step. Okay. Because we're going to have to check our buffer table, and we're going to use Table.SelectRows to do that. So Table.SelectRows, it returns a table of rows that match the selection condition. So that's what we're going to use. So for each expression here, we're going to use Table.SelectRows. And here we're going to enter our buffer table as a filter condition. We're going to use a custom M function. So let's call this BT for buffer table. And what we want to do is from the buffer table, so from BT, check the ID column. And we want to check if that is equal to the ID from the current record. Now to access the current record, we can use the underscore as the access operator for that and reference the same ID column. So press enter. And we now have a table that's filtered down to only the IDs that match from that current record. So instead of the buffer table contained all the rows from the table, and because of this filter condition, we now only have the matching rows for that ID. But we can also add another filter condition for the date, because we don't need all the dates, we only want the dates that are equal to the current record and everything that's bigger than that. So, and we can check the buffer table date column. That needs to be bigger or equal to the date from the current record. Enter. So let's check. So this contained 3 rows, it now contains 2 rows, and this only contains 1 row. Excellent. So the next thing we need to do is we need to check if our date column is sorted in the correct order. So we can use Table.Sort to do that. So that sorts the table on 1 or more columns, depending on the criteria that you've entered. So I'm going to, because that syntax is quite a lot of work, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to down drill on a table object. So I'm going to right click that table here, add it as a new query. So it now added a custom query here containing that table. And I'm going to select my date column here, and I'm going to sort that ascending. And here in the formula bar, I can just copy the syntax now. So copy this, step back to our query, and I'm going to paste that in. So just copying the syntax again, removing the table reference because that's the first parameter from Table.Sort. The table that we need to pass to that first parameter is of course the result from our Table.SelectRows, and then we can add our sort condition. So I can paste that back in and press enter. So we now know that our nested table is always sorted correctly on date. And here we have 3 records, but we don't need 3 records. We only want 2 records because that's all that we need. So I'm going to step back to our custom query again, and I'm going to keep the top 2 rows. And we see that if you keep the top 2 rows, Power Query calls the Table.FirstN function. So Table.FirstN returns the first rows for the table depending on the value of the count condition. So that's what we're going to add as well. So Table.FirstN. Only want the first 2, and we have a type table. So every nested table object here has either 1 or 2 rows. Great. So let's add a new custom column. And what we're now going to do is we're going to get the number of days between those date values. So let's call this days. And we're going to have to extract the date that was on the second record. But there are tables that don't contain 2 records. So I'm going to start by using an if statement. So if table.row count is greater than 1, then we want to get that second record. Otherwise there is no second record and we can get an error. So just making sure that we have 2 rows before we begin. So number.from going to reference our nested table. From that nested table we want the date column, so in those square brackets enter date, and then we want the second record. So because Power Query is 0 based, we enter a 1 here. So a 0 is the first record and we want the second record. Now if there is no, let me see, why won't this work? Ah, right. And from that date we need to subtract the date from the current record. So that and else. So if there aren't 2 rows, then the number of date, then the date difference of course is 0 because there is no next record. If there are more than 1 records, then we want to get the number of days between those 2 date values. So press OK. So here we get 385. Let's see, from 14th of September 2017 to October 4th, 2018. That looks correct. Excellent. So the next thing that we can do is we can determine a weight step. So we can calculate what the weight for each intermittent day should be, or is actually. So to do that, again, we're going to add a custom column, call that WeightStep. And we can pretty much paste the query from the previous step. So I'm going to step back. Right. And let me just open the editor again with the gear wheel. So we're going to test if our table contains more than one row, and if it does, we don't need the number.from. We do want the weight. We want the weight from that record, and from that record we want to subtract the weight from the current record. And once we've done that, we want to divide it by the number of days. Okay. And that's also a type number. Great. So now we can, because we have the number of days, so we kind of have a date duration, we can create a list of dates to fill that gap. So again, we're going to add a custom column. It's going to be our date key. And here we're going to check, of course, first if there is a date list to be created. So if days is greater than 0, then we want to list dates. So the starting date is going to be the date from our current record. So that's going to be date. Then we have to pass a count as a number. So that's going to be our days. And then we're going to have to step as duration. So step as duration, that's going to be duration. Duration from 1. And this is going to return a list of dates, right? So if we don't have a list of dates because there is no difference in dates, then we want to return the same date as the date column in a list. So I'm going to enter a list operator here and enter that date. So let's see. Oh, I forgot the parentheses here. Right. So first we're going to check if there is a date difference. If there is a date difference, then we're going to create a list of dates between the starting date and we're going to expand that by the number of days that we have already calculated here. And otherwise we're going to return the date in a list. So press OK. So here we have a 0 and that returned this date in a list object. Excellent. And this created a list. Great. So we can now expand that list to new rows. So we now created a record for each intermittent day. And we can now also get a weight projection for that date. So again, we're going to add a custom column. Call that weight projection. So to get the weight projection, we're going to get the weight value, and we're going to add the number from and this is going to be our weight, our date. I didn't do that right. From our date key minus our date multiplied by the weight step. Okay. And that returned a type number. Great, so we now have a weight projection for each intermittent day, and we can clean up our helper columns, so we don't need these helper columns anymore, and we can remove those. Excellent. Give this a proper type date. Great, all done. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the Enterprise DNA channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any content. Thanks so much for watching, and all the best.